Good evening, baseball fans in Braves country. This is Coach Ken Anderson, company for Hardcore Braves. I got my main man Ryan on here. How you doing tonight?
Really good, man. We just swept a really good team and a really good pitching staff. I mean, if you're not happy today, I don't. If you're a Braves fan and not happy, I don't know what to tell you, man. This team's good. They've shown it time and time again, and it's been a fun ride, especially after the last couple of years.
Yeah, we got a sweep. I heard a couple of our fellow podcasters say that they've been struggling in times to sweep, but I went and pulled it up. They're 3-5, Ryan. That's actually pretty good. As Walt said in his press conference today, it's hard to sweep teams because most of the time your bullpen is down by that last game because you've already had to use them to get to the wins. I think almost 500 in chances of sweep is a pretty good deal, don't you, Ryan?
Yeah, man. What's the one thing that we always talk about? It's hard. It's hard sweeping a series. That's why we don't predict it very often because of how hard it is. And I definitely didn't think we were going to sweep this series just because of how good the Pirates pitching staff was. I figured we'd flop a little bit in one of the games, which we did today. But we'll get into that in a little bit later. But I mean, 3-5 in attempts to sweep is really, really good, and I don't think anybody should be complaining about that. Look, I know that we all want more wins, but when your team is steadily just throwing up series W's time in, time again, it's just I don't know what there is to complain. I mean, 2-1 is going to get you to what 115 wins or something like that. so, so I mean, there's I'll take that every day of the week. I don't care if we never swept. If we won 2 out of 3 every series, I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, me too. And I was thinking, God, we've only had 21 series, had 8 chances for a sweep. That's pretty outstanding, to be honest with you. It's a heck of a ball team. So let's get to it. The Pirates are a very good baseball team. Watched them this weekend live, and they got a lineup that is really good. They've got good, hard throwing pitchers. Their bullpen was a little bit better than I thought they were going to be. So I think the Pirates have a chance to make the playoffs. This might not be the last time we see them. I know we got to go to Pittsburgh. Maybe you can get them in the postseason. So game one, Martin Perez against Brad Keller. Very interesting game. Martin is Martin. He went 5 innings, 3 runs. He's so efficient. He does the job as a fifth starter. Uh, Bullpen wise, come in Fuentes, Lee, Suarez, and Iglesias. 4 innings. They're always like this. It seems like no runs. Pitching was really good Friday night.
Yeah, pitching, pitching, pitching. I mean, look, Martin had a little bit of command issues again that he was fighting, but again, he was able to grind through 5 innings and keep your team in the ball game. I mean, again, as a number 5 starter, there's not any more that you can really ask for, and he is really filling a void that we needed him to. And I again, where are you at? I mean, there's a couple guys you could say that with. Where would this team be without Bryce Elder? Where's this team at without Martin Perez? I mean, this pitching staff was literally probably saved by those two guys this season.
Yeah, I agree. They've been amazing. And here's the thing about Martin. He is such a veteran. He had 38 pitches after the first 2 innings. You start thinking, oh my God, he's not even going to get through whatever. And he always somehow gets there. He does a great job. So he we did give up 3 runs. The interesting thing with the Pirates is we did keep some of their better hitters down in this game. One of them was Horowitz, but Horowitz come back the next 2 games, had good games against us. But overall, we did pretty good. I want to touch on the fact of Dieter Fuentes, and we're going to get to game 3 even. Bill, it's amazing that they're going to him more and more, and he's kind of supplanting or at least joining Tyler Kinley as that guy in the back of the bullpen, don't you think?
I don't think they plan on moving Didi back anytime soon to do the rotation. I think this might be his new role as a high leverage guy out of the bullpen. And look, I mean, you can kind of understand it, right? I mean, 99 coming out of the hand with a nasty wipeout slider. And I mean, look, yeah, you could always dream that he could add the changeup, but right now you know what he's good at. He's good at throwing heat, and he's really good at locating it right now, and he's really good at ripping sliders. So just let him play in that role. He's been really successful. There's really no need to try to convert him to a starter when you don't need it. You got good depth in the rotation. You got guys coming back. So I don't know if his future is really in the rotation anymore. I think they're really looking at him being a high leverage guy out of the bullpen for the next 5, 6 years in Atlanta.
I do too. Now, offensively, Ronnie had a good game. This game was a pretty good game for him. He went 2 for 4. Harris 2 for 5. Olson 2 for 5. Riley actually swung the bat good in this one. He had a 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. But the big hit was Mauricio Dubon. He went 2 for 4. He hit a ball out, 3-run homer that gave us the lead that we didn't turn back from. Offensively, you're the hitting guy. I thought Friday night we looked pretty good.
Yeah, Friday night they were absolutely fantastic. And if you didn't catch my hitters meeting recap of Game One, that is a YouTube short on the Braves Hip Cool channel. You can also find it on Hardcore Braves as well. But they did fantastic. They executed the game plan perfectly, right? I mean, what we wanted to do was get the ball up in the zone. You didn't want to chase anything down in the zone because it was probably going to be a ball. And even if he did throw strikes down there, he's going to try to get you to chase later in the count anyway. So you might as well not even swing at it down there. They did a great job. They got the ball up in the zone. They did damage. And when they had runners on base, they executed and hit with runners in scoring position. So as an offense, they worked counts. They got him out by, I think it was like before the fifth inning because he was at 99 pitches. They got into their bullpen in Game One, and that really paid big dividends later on in this series.
Yeah, and real quick, I'm back on Martin. Y'all can see he gives up the runs in this game because there's a dribbler down the line on a 2-strike, and then Marcel hit a 74-mile-an-hour looper into the outfield off a pitch that was on his hand. So Martin really did good. So the other thing offensively, we pick the clicks. We'll start on your pick the click in this game. We'll save mine for Game 3. The little monster had a funny game. You don't get many games like this. He was 0 for 0. So how did he go 0 for 0? Well, he had a sac fly, got hit by a pitch and 2 walks. His at bats, you can tell Ozzie is back. He's in one of these zones, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when Ozzie is taking walks, I mean, when Ozzie's taking walks, he's seeing the ball pretty good because Ozzie is an aggressive little dude, man. But overall, this series, I mean, we'll get into it later. He had a very finicky series. I think he had one hit, but as my little friend on Twitter, Matt Olson Burner, pointed out, he did the dirty work this series. And he really did. He got on base. He drove in runs when he had to with less than 2 outs. He did hit one double, but I mean, he was really the grunt worker this series. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, Ozzie was 1 for 5, 3 walks, 2 hit by batters, couple sac flies. It was just one of those games. It's one of those series. Ozzie had such a good series, and of the 4 outs that he had, 2 of them were P missiles to center field. O'Neill Cruz had to make good catches on. So we'll go with Ozzie. Albie's having that kind of series all the time. Like you said, his eye, he's laying off pitches. Him and Michael both this year are doing a lot better job of swinging at pitches that are strikes. So it's a 6-3 victory. Anything else to add from Game 1?
Nah, I mean, I don't think there's really much to add on. I mean, the offense is doing a fantastic job. Pitching staff is locking it down, especially the back end of the bullpen. I mean, there's just team's playing really well, and I don't even think it's their best baseball that they can play. I still think there's going to be some players that are going to get better throughout the course of the year. We're probably going to be making some trades later on in the year that's going to bolster this team to even make it even more better. It's a really fun time to be a Braves fan, especially with the kids in the minor leagues too. So I mean, it's just a really good time to be a Braves fan.
It is. So if you like the 6-3 final, let's go to Saturday. You're going to like Saturday because we won 6-3. So I was hoping we'd win 6-3 today. That way it'd be kind of fun to have the same score. But we get Spencer Strider against who was supposed to be their best pitcher this weekend, Braxton Ashcraft. And on the hip coil, we crushed it this weekend. I know I don't want to hear about us bragging on it, but we did it. We've had some bad ones too. We've owned our bad ones too, but this series we owned it. And they had the perfect approach against Ashcraft. And Ryan, you talked about it on the hip coil, so walk us through it.
It was pretty much don't swing at anything in the zone that breaks away from you as a righty and a lefty. If it starts breaking towards you, take it if it starts in the zone because it's probably going to be a ball. Ashcraft had a lot of movement on his slider, so they did a great job of laying off anything down in the zone, and they got the fastball up. And I wouldn't say at the top. I mean, they did in the top of the zone, but they got in the top like third of the zone, right? So bell tie at about high thigh, and that's exactly where I told him to attack. You want to hunt the heater in that area from third to third, so inner third to outer third. And that's where you want to do your damage. And they did a great job. They laid off everything down below the that high thigh, anything at the bottom of the zone, they were taking until two strikes. They didn't give a crap if it was a strike. They were like, I want this pitch up in the zone. And if I don't get it, I'm going to wait until I get to two strikes. And when they got it, they just did not miss it. They executed their game plan to a T, and it showed. And they also worked his pitch count up again to where they had to get him out by the fifth inning and get back into that bullpen.
Yeah, he's a tough ride, and I think he's going to be an outstanding pitcher. So from the offense, there's a lot of good to talk about. Ronnie in this game handled his sinker and his fastball well. He did had a good another good game. He's still not there yet, but you can see that he's get a little bit of signs. He ended up going 2 for 4. Duvon is such a difference maker. I mean, he finds a way to make people work at bats, and he is able to get a couple of hits. And you're seeing one of Ozzy's ball if you're watching on YouTube. Like I said, he had 2 bombs to the center field that had to run down. Austin looked good in this game. 2 for 4 with a double. And, we all are on the social media, even the radio stations, excuse me, are crushing him. Even Bray's Vision is talking about him. So you got to point out when he does good. He had 2 good games here, Friday and Saturday. Now, not so much today, but Friday and Saturday had good games. Hit a double. But the difference maker in this game was Dom Smith. Mr. Ashcraft decided for some reason he's going to throw Dom Smith high fastball, and Dom Smith eats that for lunch, and one of them was a 2-run homer. So overall, the offense, you can talk a little bit more on it, and especially Dom having a really good game.
Yeah, I don't know what Mr. Ashcraft was thinking with Dom because he absolutely smoked one to center field. That O'Neill Cruz had to make a great play on to bring it to for it not to be a couple of runs in for a double. And he threw him the same pitch the next at bat, and he took it opposite field out of the ballpark for a 3-run bomb that provided to be the difference maker. Look, we're going to talk about Austin here a little bit. There's going to be a YouTube video coming out on my channel tomorrow, so keep your eyes posted on that. It is Austin Riley. It's going to be a little bit different, so let me know what you guys think. And if you don't want to watch the full video because it's going to be about 10 minutes, I'm going to break it up into shorts for you guys, and I'll put it out throughout the week so y'all can digest it that way if you want to. But his main thing is he's inconsistent with his approach. I've harped on this, Ken. Me and you've talked about it since April. He's just so inconsistent with his approach. He's inconsistent now with what he's doing with his stance and his rhythm. I think that's his biggest thing, and that's why I posted on Twitter the other day that I'm kind of out on him right now, and it breaks my heart because he's my favorite player. But when you're inconsistent with your approach, you're inconsistent with what you're doing as your setup and your rhythm and your swing. You got nothing. You're going to be lost at the plate. You're going to get got more times than not because you don't know what you're doing. You don't have a feel for what you're doing in the box, let alone what you're going to try to do to the pitcher. So until you get that fixed, I don't think he's coming out of it anytime soon.
No, we'll see inconsistent. But with that said, Austin sometimes does this, not this bad, but he does this, and around Father's Day is when he usually gets hot. So I'm going to be neutral until Father's Day, and then I'll jump in with the rest of your Warriors here if he still struggles after Father's Day. So the other thing in this game, Ozzy again had another good game. We need to point that out. He had 2 sac flies, another hit by pitch, and walk in the game. And back to Dubon real quick. Dubon's 2 at bats, if you're watching on YouTube, are primo Dubon. One time he pulls the off speed into the left field for a single. The other time he slaps the 98-mile-an-hour fastball into right field. Let's bring it up here. He should make the All-Star team, Ryan.
So I'm not going to say no. And the reason why is because I just haven't looked at the numbers across the league. I think that's fair, but he is playing like an all-star for the Atlanta Braves, and I don't know where we're at without him. Again, I mean, I know we say that with a lot of guys, but that's just how many guys have made such a big difference for this team this year, and they all are equally valuable. So if they had a utility spot on the All-Star team, which I think they absolutely should, I mean, my God, every team has one. So I don't know why that's not a thing, but it needs to be a thing. He would absolutely be an all-star if that was the case.
Yeah, I think they should have a utility for an all-star because, like you said, every team has it. You think about how valuable really Castro's been to the Twins. Now he's a Rocky, but and he should be. And his OPS is back up to almost 760 again. So he's he has a chance. So, Braves
Told you.
fans, All Star vote. It's a good time to tell you, All Star voting is going on right now. A lot of that's going to be up to you. Braves and Dodgers fans control the All Star ballot because they have the most fans coming to games and the most fans in the National League that's engaged most of the time. They have the two best teams in baseball, and so get on there and vote. You can get anybody.
We're
So,
plugging you free of charge, Braves country.
yeah,
Braves.com/vote.
yeah, Braves.com/vote. All right, two big things we need to get to real quick in this game is defensively, big play there. First of all, Ronnie plays it perfect off the wall, and Matt Olson, they gave a stat. You can write, I think it was point 0.6 seconds out of the
Yes.
glove to the hand and home. Matt Olson can throw anyhow. He's got a gun. And beautiful relay to get O'Neal Cruz coming home.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have drawn that up any better as a coach. You know that. I mean, off the wall, Ronald plays it beautifully. Guns it to Matt Olson. Matt Olson, with probably the quickest transfer in the history of first baseman across Major League Baseball, yeets it to the catcher, and Austin Wynns makes the play at home. I mean, that's a play last year we don't make. I just don't feel like we make that play last year. Probably the last couple of years because we've been sloppy a little bit defensively. But this team is just on its P's and Q's, man. I mean, they're doing everything right. They're running even this game right here in game 2, they ran the bases perfectly. They got a couple runs in this game just because of how they ran the bases. And then you're also playing defense on top of that to cut a run down, which came in big time later on in this game. It's just, I mean, everything that they're doing is just it's just fantastic. And I'm not trying to glaze them. I'm not, but they're playing that good of baseball because when they don't, I promise you, I'm going to be on their butt. That's just who we are.
It really is. And when you can't, I know y'all want us to be, we try to be as honest as possible, but they're 45-21 best record in baseball. It's hard to find a lot of negative in any of those teams. I watched the Dodgers broadcast Saturday night. They are talking just as high on that ball team too, and they should. They look phenomenal. And Joe Davis, I know who Braves fans sometimes don't like, but Joe Davis, who the Dodgers announcer said it right, and old Hershiser said the same thing. When you're the best team, there's very little negatives to talk about. You can find things to improve, but not negatives. Let's not get to the improvement out of this game. Let's get to the another positive. He goes to four different guys, well, a couple different guys in this bullpen appearance. Dodd and Kenley make their appearance, and Lee and Iglesias. Dylan Dodd is growing in front of our eyes, Ryan. Let's give Dylan some love here.
Yeah, man, that cutter's really it's really starting to come into his own, isn't it, man? I mean, he just if you're watching on YouTube, he just ate those batters up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with that cutter. And it's a really good pitch. I don't know what adjustment they made on that pitch, but I mean it is darting, it is biting in on the right handers, it's darting away from the lefties. He's got his put out pitch now, and he's been really really good. He's been the left-hander that we all wanted him to be, and that we all thought he could be for the last couple of years, and he's finally putting it together. And again, I'm going to tip my cap here to AA for making the move to eat Aaron Bummer's contract and bringing this kid up when he was healthy and ready to go, because he is by himself probably saved us a couple of games out of the bullpen in situations where Aaron Bummer was probably going to blow it. So kudos to Dodd for really figuring it out. Kudos to the front office for making the move to getting back in the bullpen. I still want another lefty. Just and mainly because injury insurance, right? You can't always bank on everybody staying healthy, but if you add another lefty to that group of Lee and Dodd, you're going to be looking pretty good come playoff time.
Yeah, and speaking of Dylan Lee needs to go to the All Star game, and luckily we got Bip Roberts getting to help pick. Now Major League Baseball has this too, but he has a big say, and Bip likes to take these kind of relievers. What do you think about the odds of Dylan maybe sneaking into the All Star game?
I mean, realistically, Ken, we could probably have half the Braves roster represented in the National League at the All Star game right now. And the back three of the bullpen should absolutely 100% be there. Dylan Lee, Robert Suarez, and Razel Iglesias, they all need to be All Stars because they've all had fantastic first halves. Chris Sale needs to be there as a starting pitcher. I mean, you got the Dubon argument right there. Matt Olson should probably start at first base. Ozzy Albies is a contender at second. I mean, Michael Harris should definitely be starting his first All-Star game out there in center field. I think the one that I want the most is probably Michael Harris. just because it's his first one. He had two really rough years back to back, and then for him to come out and put it together like this, he deserves that nod for sure. Not saying the other guys don't. I just I pull for position players a little bit more. It's that's just who I am. Sorry.
That goes on you. That goes on the fans. Y'all got to vote because the guy he's up against will be probably Andy Pajes. He's the Dodgers center fielder, so it's going to probably be whichever turns out the most, Braves fans or Dodgers fans. So you've been challenged. They should brought that up on their telecast last night as well. So we got to get out and got to vote Michael in. Both of them is going to make the All-Star team, in my opinion, but we'll see. Yeah, we watched it on YouTube. Brandon Lau got hurt. It was really good to see him pinch hit today, so I guess he's going to be okay. I was afraid he might broke his kneecap there. So all right, let's get to the thing that we have to improve. Now, look, I'm going to get into soliloquy here because I don't want to go one way or the other on this guy. Spencer Strider, first of all, knows he's got to be better for us to win a World Series. He knows that. We need him to pitch in a postseason game, and what we're getting is very mixed results. 5 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And the fact of the matter was his changeup was really good. So here's the deal with Spencer. At this moment, come trade deadline, Spencer may figure it out. But at this moment, I think when I look at it, this is the reason why AA is at least going to entertain, maybe going to get the starting pitcher. Now, I listened to Barrett Sallee on the way home today, and he's right. Those things are hard to get. So we need Spencer to get better, but it is a concern. We're not dogging him. We're 45-21. We get it. But Spencer has got to get better for us to win a World Series.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, man. Me and you have talked about this in pretty lengthy conversations. That Spencer has not been who Spencer Strider is capable of being, and I just want y'all to. I'm going to pull up the. I know Ken, you're not fond of TJ stats, but I think it does a decent job of showing what pitcher stuff is. Not all pitchers, because my God, they absolutely crucified Bryce Elder for being bad, but he's actually been really freaking good. So as soon as I find it, here we go. You can see that right here on the very right, where it says TJ plus stuff plus average. His four-seamer's a little bit above average. His curveball was actually elite. I think that's why CJ is such big on his curveball. His slider, it said it was a little bit above average. I beg to differ because that's the one pitch it's just so inconsistent on, right? It's either really elite and it bites like it should, or he hangs it right down the middle, and then you got Spencer Horwitz taking it 5,000 feet into the chop house. His sinker, I don't even know. I didn't even know he threw a sinker. No, that's Ashcraft.
You
I'm
got
sorry.
Ashcraft on there.
That's Ashcraft. Where is Strider?
Got to go to the Braves.
There we go. Yeah. Got him. Okay, that's more like him. Fastball a little bit above average. His slider is below average at 99. His changeup was right at league average, and then his curveball was actually below average. So his changeup was his best secondary pitch, and Spencer is very much missing his best weapon, and that is his slider. His slider is normally generating whiffs left and right. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ken. I'm not a pitching guru by any means, but when I'm in the box and I see that slider, I'm not scared of that pitch. And it's not getting guys off the fastball anymore. And his curveball and changeup have been better, but they shouldn't be better than his slider. His slider's the pitch that tunnels really well with his fastball that keeps everybody honest on his fastball. And when you're hanging that pitch right down the middle or down and into lefties now, you're going to get these mixed results. And it's not like he pitched bad, but what? He gave up 2-3 solo home runs again. He wasn't walking the ballpark by any means. It's just his stuff is just not what it should be. So I don't know what adjustments they need to make on his grip or stride or whatever, but something needs to change.
Leave that up real quick because he 0 for 20 on four-seam whiffs. 0 for 20. He didn't get one whiff. And 2 for 13 on the slider. I know everybody wants to throw the changeup and curveball, but we're not trying to make him into that kind of pitcher. He's got to get better. I think, and I talked to Ryan about this, he has an elite slider, but he's throwing it like a below average slider because I think he needs to hold the ball in the glove like a changeup. If he holds the ball in the glove to get his count with a changeup, I think he'll grip the slider a little bit better. I don't think he grips it very well, but Jeremy Hefner gets paid a lot more money than I do, and I'm sure Jeremy will figure it out. But we just need Spencer Strider to be better. That's it. I mean, however it's got to get there to be better. And if not, I know Allison's keeping an eye on it. And we will be go get another starting pitcher, whoever that is. It may not be the ace that we all want, but it'll be somebody because we cannot live with Spencer having 6 out of 43 swings and misses. That just can't happen. So,
No.
but the game was won. We won 6-3. So let's move on to Sunday. Now I listened to Lindsey and Jake. They're right. It was like a walking through a park game. It was the strangest game. Spencer walks up, hits a home run. Horowitz hits a home run first pitch. Bryce Elder only gives up another hit, and it's to Spencer Horowitz, who hit one off the end of the. I don't know how you hit that changeup, by the way, Ryan. I mean, how you hit it. They get another run. Elder was good. 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. Like I said, he hung the slider to Horowitz, terrible pitch. Other than all, he was pretty good. And I seen some people on Twitter saying he wasn't. He was. He threw the ball very well today. He only had 83 pitches too. I don't know what we're expecting out of Spencer, but this will play, and he can pitch in the postseason. I just rather it be in the 3 or 4 spot, and I'd like to see somebody take over the 2. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would say 6 innings, 2 earned is not good baseball. I mean, he he threw the ball very well. I mean, he had a little shaky first inning with the home run, but I mean, other than that, I mean, he fought through some innings too. I mean, he had a little bit of traffic, but all in all, I mean, at the end of the day, he only gave up 2 earned runs. He pitched 6 innings. He didn't get the strikeouts, but he got outs. That's all I care about, and he's been getting outs a lot this year, a lot more than he hasn't been. And he had the one blow up in Boston, but then he bounced back the next 2, 3 starts since then. So I mean, he's pitching the ball really well. He again, where are we going to be without Bryce Elder doing what he's doing? Hashtag Big Texas baby. I don't know why anybody would be down on Bryce right now. Look, there was a time for it, and I think it was acceptable to an extent, what y'all were saying about him. But he's figured some stuff out. He's a legit starting pitcher now. Is he a number 1 or number 2? Probably not. He's more in that 3, 4, 5 category. I would say more of the 3, 4 category. And he's pitching like it. So enjoy it. Stop getting on to him just because he has one bad outing every once in a while. That's going to happen. Chris Sale's going to have 5 bad outings this year, more than likely. And he's an ace. And he's going to be a Hall of Famer. It just happens. You just go to the ballpark some days and you just don't have it. So, you ride with it on those days. You do the best you can. And then you enjoy the rest of it because it's normally pretty good.
Offensively, we walked through the park. We did have a chance in the first inning. We loaded the bases, and Austin Riley come up, and Mr. Montgomery just blew him away. He just threw him a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. It wasn't even really above the strike zone. Later on in the game, Ronald swung at one over about Catbill high. He can't swing at that, but both of them were so worried about getting beat up top. They're getting beat up top more. They need to figure that out. There's not a lot to say more about that. He just got blown away by a kid that half of y'all don't even know who that is. Now, turn to real quick. Bubba Chandler was effectively wild. That's what Ryan wrote me, and he was. He was look at these pitches, all over the place, and then he would dot the corner on you. So this was actually ended up being a tough ride, which we kind of talked about on the hip coil. Maybe if he could do stuff like this. And so it was kind of like a walk through a game here, and it looked like 2-0, we were going to be in big time trouble. Before we get to the big moment in this game, what do you think about how we swung against Mr. Bubba Chandler?
It's hard to game plan against a guy who has absolutely no clue where the ball's going, right? So, I I said that you didn't want the ball to be low in the zone, you wanted it up in the zone, but he was literally all over the place. The ball would go all the way to the backstop multiple times. Sometimes it's going to be way outside the strike zone. Sometimes it would be right down the middle, and then there's other times he dot the down and away outside corner with 99, and not many people are going to touch that. So I think the best way to explain him was he walked Dom Smith. I think they're in like the 6th or 7th inning whenever we got the 3 runs that Michael drove in. And then he threw 3 fastballs right down the middle to Austin Riley, and Austin took all 3 of them because he just didn't know what was going to happen. And then he walks the next 3 guys, or next 2 guys, right behind him. So on 8 straight balls. So that's that's tough if you're going in the box because you're going in there and you want to be patient and you want to try to get a pitch that you can handle right down the middle, but then he can all of a sudden find it and start dotting it on the corner. It was a rough ride, and I mean the offense did the best they could. They battled. I mean, you saw the Mateo at bat. There was multiple kind of at bats like that. They were trying to draw their walks. They were missing fastballs that were in the strike zone a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's a tough ride when you're uncomfortable in the box because you don't know if the guy's going to drill you in the head or throw it on the corner. It's just an uncomfortable ride.
Yeah, it's just tough. So, but we're just kind of walking through the game, and when you're doing that, we've all played and coached. You got to have something go your way, and in the bottom of the seventh, Don leads off, hits a ground. But now, early in the game, I turned to my daughter and said, "I wish Jorge Mateo would bunt this ball to this kid at third base because I don't think he has a good arm, and with Mateo's speed, he will beat it out." Well, Dom hits a ground ball. They make an error. Kid makes an error. He throws the ball wild, and then as Ryan said, Bubba said, "Well, I know this guy can't beat me," and so he throws three fastballs right by Austin. And but then he goes and he's worried about Yastrzemski, and he walks Yastrzemski on four straight, walks Mateo on four straight, and then Walt has done the best job we've had done around here. I mean, you know how big a fan I am of Brian Snooker. I don't think he's was ever this close to knowing when to pull the big stick out. He pulls Michael out. Place goes crazy. And we had talked on the hip coil when this moment happened. Who did I tell you? And we joked about we're bringing two lefties. Who did I tell you they were going to bring? Evan Sisk, who's kind of a funky. We had seen Sam Mole. We had seen Mason Flaherty. I said, I think we've seen it enough that if Michael gets a chance, and he was my pick to click, and he got hurt and didn't get to play much, 3 for 6, he comes up, and in the one game, he throws a sweeper on his second pitch, and Michael hit it into left field for a single. So he tried to trick him with another sinker, and Michael didn't miss, Ryan, and we got the lead 3-2.
Yeah, it was funny because he took the first pitch right down the middle, and I was just like, uh oh. Well, we're gonna be in trouble now because you don't get too many middle fastballs in the big league. So when you take them, when you get them, you don't want to miss them. Well, he got too cute and he tried to get another piece of cheese by the rat, and Michael Harris did not let that piece of cheese get by him, and he absolutely smoked it down the right field line, and it cleared the bases for us, and that ended up being the big game winner. But going back to Walt, man, and it's been with Michael a lot this year, right? When Michael's been hurt a little bit, but he's able to come in and get that one big hit. It seems like every time he just punches that ticket correctly. He did it on one of the home stands earlier in the year. He did it in Colorado that one time when he got the big home run that really catapulted us to that win. And then he did it again tonight. I mean, that's 3 times off the top of my head where he really kind of used you got your bullet, go ahead and use it, and he used it correctly. And it's like I said, there's not much to talk negative about this team, and Walt Weiss has been everything that we needed and more out of the managerial spot.
And I give you 2 with Dom Smith and 1 with Mike Yastrzemski. He has been clutch, Walt has. So we take the lead 3-2. Reynaldo pitched a great 7th inning. And we come to find out, Walt, after the game, they only had 4 relief pitchers for this game. It was Reynaldo, Tyler Kinley for just a few pitches, really only had 3.5. And then the kid, and then after that, it was just give the ball to Cookie and let him go. So we needed Reynaldo to come out in the 8th inning. They tried to, I don't know what the kid was doing. He tried to bunt on him. Mangum can fly. I understand that. They throw him out at first. And then Reynaldo gives up a hit. He had a 3-2 pitch, and I could see that he was disappointed in the pitch call. He throws an off speed. I'd rather him just go ahead and go fastball with a runner on first. He walks. We bring in Kinley, and everybody's hard on Kinley, but he was gassed, had nothing in the tank, and he really, really bowed up here and got us out of that inning. What do you say before we get to the kid about how we got through the 7th and 8th?
Good on Reynaldo because he had a lot of tough luck that last time out, right? There was a lot of bad bip luck that everybody was talking about, right? So a lot of weak contact in play that kind of messed up his numbers a little bit, but he came back and he looked sharp there in the seventh inning. So, and he locked it down. And that's what you need. You need somebody to come in and slam the door. And then they ran him back out there in the seventh. Um, Look, I don't know how much you can rely on Ronaldo to give you multiple innings right now. Just, I mean, he has overall, it just seems like he hasn't pitched much this year, especially in the last month or two. So I don't know how much that's going to play into his arm kind of being a little deconditioned for multi-inning purposes. But he was really good in the seventh. Kinley was able to come in and really nut it up there and got us out of that jam because I even think it was what a 2-2-3-2 pitch with a couple with the bases loaded
3-2.
and two outs and he threw a really good breaking ball that the guy just beat the crap out of into the ground to Matt Olson to get out of that inning. And I, if he doesn't do it, nobody else does, right? So he's kind of out there and hung out there to dry. It's like it's your game. You're either going to win it for us or you're going to lose it for us, and it's not going to go any other way. And he did a great job, and he got the ball to the kid, and that's going to be coming up here in a little bit.
Yeah, and everybody was like, who's going to close? And I texted everybody back because we're in the ballpark. I said, and I think they must have said it on air that Fuentes is warming up. Now, let me just give you a little bit of something. What's going on here? I know y'all want to go for every win, but remember Walt even said, I can't go all the time. Yes, Suarez probably could have pitched today. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. But you're trying to steal days on the calendar with a top end reliever. They had already won 2 games. They're not punting the game, but they're not chasing the game. And this is a good opportunity to give Suarez 3 full days rest if we're off tomorrow. That's beneficial as the season goes on. And that's the reason why they decided before the game, Walt said he's not going to pitch. Let's get him another day. Also, the reason Michael didn't play today was it's a chance to get him off his feet for 3 games with a back. And then everybody should be back Tuesday ready to go in Chicago. So the kid takes the mound and he gets their best player pinch hit. And Brandon Lowe, it's not a terrible, I know y'all hate when CJ says it, but it's not a terrible pitch. It's just a great hitter. He hits into the corner for a double. And then Dieter Fuentes showed up. He goes strike out, I think pop out, and then he throws one of the most beautiful sliders to end the ball game for his first career save. And I'll have you a stat that me and Bo had found after you talked here, Ryan. Just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to the big league moment right there in your first save opportunity, and Brandon Lau absolutely smokes one off the wall. And then you have the weakest contact of all time by Jake Mangum right there to put you in a situation of first and third, nobody out. And then all you do is just blow the doors off the next hitter. You get Triolo to pop a slider up, and then you absolutely carve the rookie up with sliders because Hef came out there and said, hey, he can't hit a slider. Just throw the shit out of the slider. So he's like, okay, threw the shit out of the slider and got him to strike out to end the inning and get his first career save. And look how pumped up he was, man. Happy for Didi, man. He's improved a lot. I think you're looking at a long time, high end leverage guy in the back end of the Braves bullpen for years to come. I don't think he's going back to the rotation.
Interesting. Our friends over there in Locked On talked about that, and they see him as 1 and 2. It's going to be interesting what the Braves do. I think it really depends on who they sign and all that stuff. This year, he's going to be in the bullpen. We'll see what happens. Really quick, everybody asked me in the stands when I saw Hef come out. Let me just tell you what Hefner told him. 2 things. Ryan's right on one. We're going to throw the slider. Indy Rodriguez cannot hit the slider. He bats 135 off of it. Let's go throw the slider. 2 is, I know he's the running run. I don't want you to care. If he takes second base, we'll figure it out. If we don't care. Usually you try to tell the guy to hold on, but there was too much in that. And even Didier talked about after the game how nervous he was. That's a good job by Jeremy right there. I've had to go out myself and make that conversation where everybody's in the ballpark thinking what you're saying, and you're literally saying, we're willing to lose the ball game here. I just want you to concentrate on the batter. And I thought Jeremy handled that really well, and Didier and Wins did not lay off the slider. And I never saw Didier do this or anything. It was just go get Indy Rodriguez, who cannot hit a slider. So here's the stat. First save by a youngest save since Mike McQueen, 1971 August. Who's Mike McQueen? Well, I think Didier Fuentes is going to have a better career than Mike McQueen. So 1971, so 55 years it's taken somebody this young to have a save. And Didier Fuentes is going to be here for a long time. So our first sweep at home, it's our third sweep of the year. And so we got a lot to pick from for play of the game, play of the series, and MVP of the series. So Ryan, uh, what do you got? Play of the series.
I'm going to absolutely shock you. I'm not taking a homer, not taking a big hit. I'm taking the eighth and ninth inning of game three. Tyler Kinley getting out of that jam and Didi coming in and getting his first big league save after he gets in a little bit of a jam. Just excellent job by two guys who normally aren't in that situation in the eighth and ninth inning to really step up and close out the game in the later part of the innings, man. Look, you could have gone multiple ways here, right? You could have gone the Dubon homer. You could have gone the Michael Harris big pinch hit. There's multiple ways that you could have gone, but in my eyes, those two guys who aren't normally put in those roles to close out a game or be the high leverage guy in the eighth inning, which Kinley has done, but he's more the sixth, fifth inning guy. For them to really step up and do what they did today, that's my play of the series, Ken.
Yeah, it's hard to go against it. I was really leaning that way too. So I'll try to give something else here because that's really what it probably should be to get the sweep. But just because we needed to also just win the series, I'll go with the Dubon home run Friday night to get us off to a good start because it's not a terrible pitch by Keller, and he hit that thing out of the ballpark, and he's doing a good job of sneak attacking. So I'll go with the Dubon home run that got us to the win, but I'm also like you, Ryan. I think you have to lean to Kinley and Fuentes. MVP of the series, who you got?
Dubon, baby. Mauricio Dubon. He just, God, every time he came up, man, he came up with a big hit, big homer to start the series off. I mean, he's just the dude right now. I don't, Chipper needs to tuck him into bed every single night with a conversation because after every conversation, he gets red hot. Chipper, go talk to Austin Riley, please.
I think he has talked to Austin Riley. I don't know if Austin listens too well. Yeah, you need to get Dubon one of those things where he listens to Chipper all night while he sleeps. I'll go with Michael. He was my pick to click, and he come off the bench, and that is not easy to do. Sisk is a very tough pitcher. I know y'all haven't heard of him, but he brought in a 1.23 ERA for a reason. He's a really good pitcher, and to know that outthink Sisk, because Sisk was thinking, okay, I'm going to show him something different I showed him the first time. And Michael said, no, I'm going to sit on the sinker until I get two strikes, which is what Ryan talked about in the hip coil. And he did it, and he got his pitch. So I'll go Michael Harris. All right, so that gets us a sweep. We're 45-21. Phillies won again today. They did lose one this weekend, so we're 9.5 up. Dodgers lost, so we're now 3 games up for best record, Ryan. So everything's going pretty good. We get a day off. That's great. Team's going to be fresh, and we head to Chi-Town. And guess who's there? The team that's at the last wild card in the American League right now, the Chicago White Sox. What do you know about the White Sox, Ryan?
Well, I know that they got one really good starting pitcher that we're probably going to see in this series. No offense to the rest of the guys. He's just the cream of the crop, and they're a little banged up. A lot of their pitchers are on the IL right now. I know Thorpe's out for a long time. Noah Schultz is on the 15-day IL right now, so we're not getting their best pitchers. We're seeing a couple of old friends, Ken. Eric Fetty, really weren't a friend. I don't like you. You were a terrible Brave. And Sean Newcomb, he's in their bullpen as a really good left-handed reliever. So Murakami's a little banged up. He's not going to be in the lineup, which I'm kind of sad about, kind of not sad about because he's a fun player to watch. But you know what? I can watch you on MLB Network and you not hurt my Atlanta Braves. Thank you. So, I mean, it's a fun young team, right? You got Kyle Teal, that's the catcher. You got Montgomery, who's their shortstop. You got a lot of young talent, and they're going to be an interesting bunch. So I kind of comp them to the Washington Nationals, right? They're kind of playing with house money. They're playing really good baseball. Might not have enough pitching, might not have enough overall talent, but the American League's so bad, they're probably going to sneak into the AL playoffs. So it's going to be an interesting series, Ken.
I find them interesting. What Chris Getz does he actually go for it and try to bring in a pitcher? Because they got good farm system too. So I'll give you more about their team when we go through the series preview and on the Braves hip coil. So we're getting out of time here. What do you think we do in this series? 3-game set.
I think we win 2 out of 3. Just going, we'll go through the pitching matchups and all that over the hip coil. So if you want to, go check that out. Again, you can go check out the preview, like Ken mentioned as well, to get a little bit more in-depth sight on the Chicago White Sox. But I think there's one of their pitchers that are going to stump us, but I think we take 2 out of 3, and they got a leaky bullpen to kind of say nicely. They got a couple guys who can really sling it, but overall, if you get into that bullpen early, it's really trouble for the White Sox.
Yeah, I'll go 2 out of 3 as well. And if you want to just see what trouble they have, watch the Phillies series. They had the Phillies dead to right to sweep them. They lost 2 of them because their bullpen could not hold lead. So we've got to, you want to find out how we're going to do that, join the HIPCO, join the series preview. We'll break down their hitters. They have a fantastic lineup, a lot of good young players. I love Montgomery at shortstop. So, we're not even going to give you a pick to click. We're not giving you MVP. You got to join the hip coil. You got to get on the hip coil. You'll see who our pick to click in the series preview. So we got to get out of here. We try to do that so we know y'all got a lot of podcasts to listen to. We're grateful that you listened to ours. Ryan's grateful. He's got Braves hip coil. Remember, it's coming out. And at Braves Homer 27, at Boyd PC 15, at Hardcore Braves. Y'all keep telling everybody we keep growing, and we've only been in place now for 71 days. It's fascinating to us that we've grown this fast. We appreciate y'all. Y'all keep telling everybody we love you, Braves country, and we're out of here. Peace.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.